Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. My name is Christian Eschbach, and today I am going to be taking a look at an album that was unfortunately very disappointing for me when I picked it up. Parliament, Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome. Alright, so let's get into this album. Alright. First off, I did a little research on this album. I don't like to usually do it beforehand, but this one I had to do just a little research on first. And the reason why is I wanted to make sure that it was, before I said anything about who played what on this album, and I'm not even going to get into who played what on this album. What I will say is the album itself was basically written by George Clinton, uh, Gary Scheider, and Bootsy Collins. There was also Bill Worrell in there and a couple other people. Okay, so, but the people that wrote it didn't necessarily all play on it. This is a concept album. This is a concept album where you can grasp the concept listening to the album on its own. But there's a lot of stuff that originally came with the album. There was a comic book, stuff like that. And without all of that, I find that this kind of falls a little flat. And the reason why is there isn't a lot of, to me, there's not a lot of good, solid, standout tracks on this. I mentioned before when talking about concept albums, most recently when I did Aventasia's The Scarecrow, you gotta have songs that stand out 100% on their own and they're totally enjoyable on their own. Plus, have the theme going to make it really worthwhile. And this particular album, I feel, kind of drops the ball a little bit. It's a good album. Musically, it's a great album. I love the playing with it, but I find some of it is a little childish and a little cheap. Um, let's get into it. Okay, so the album opens up with Bop Gun Endangered Species. This song on the back here says it's 8 minutes 31 seconds. It's a slow build. It gets you going, but once it gets going, it's kind of good vibe. Gets you going, it gets you grooving. It's not bad. I don't mind it too much. But when you listen to Parliament and you listen to Funkadelic, and now I'm not talking about Parliament and Funkadelic together. This is Parliament. Last I covered just Funkadelic. Parliament on their own, I don't find has the intellectual prowess that Funkadelic does. Parliament is more goofy and kiddish in a way. Like this is a sci-fi concept, and Bop Gun opens it up. Endangered Species, that opens it up. It sets the whole tone for the fact that it's a sci-fi concept, and as enjoyable as it can be to listen to, if you're listening to it just kind of on its own, it's kind of like From there you go into Sir Nose, devoid of funk, and then in brackets, pay attention dash B3M. Basically, they use a lot of Three Blind Mice in here. The words from Three Blind Mice. It's a giant song, basically. It's all drug references and stuff like that. And this is, I think they were taking too many drugs, honestly, when this was going on. It doesn't work for me on the level that it should. And this is where I kind of go, this is a little kiddish, it's a little childish. It could be better. Wizard of Finance is a little bit different. It's a little bit, I want to say a little bit more Motown-y, a little bit more laid back. I've mentioned before the parallel I find between George Clinton and Frank Zappa. When I got into it with Funkadelic, I kind of cut it a little bit short. I find there are a lot of parallels with the experimentation, the playing, and the satire that's going on. I find in here the satire kind of gets lost a little bit. It should be there, but it's not. And I find that it's kind of once again, it feels a little more downplayed, a little more juvenile, and not a good type of juvenile. Like it's not supposed to be juvenile. That's where it kind of falls flat for me. Funkentelechy. God, I hope I'm getting even remotely close to saying that right. 10 minutes, 56 seconds. Big, long, extended Uber track. A lot of music going on, a lot of story going on. Does not sit on its own. It is not a standalone track. You have to listen to it in the playthrough. Without it being in the playthrough, it really does just fall flat. That is followed up by Placebo Syndrome. Placebo Syndrome is probably the one song musically I'm not huge on this album. It's the one song where it kind of and then the album finishes with the song Flashlight. I dig the tune. It's a fun tune. It gets you going. There's a lot going on in it, but it's a lot of fun in that. My biggest thing with Flashlight, okay, is if you have ever seen the first Deadpool movie, there's Team Headkick, the Deadpool rap. They stole it from this song Flashlight, the main riff. It's this song, slightly sped up. I don't think it's the original instrumentation. I think they played with it, but good tune. I can see why they stole it. It was the only song on the very first time I listened to this album the whole way through from beginning then. It was the only song I actually enjoyed right away. I've had to listen to the album multiple times. On multiple listens, yeah, you know, you can get in the album. I do not understand how this was a number 13 hit on the US charts. I mean, I kind of, if R&B wasn't doing well, I get how it got to number 2 on the R&B charts. Only if R&B wasn't doing that well at the time. But I just really, for all the concept albums I've listened to and how much I enjoy a good concept album, this one really just, I was really kind of disappointed with this, you know? And thankfully it was not the first Parliament album I picked up. If it was the first Parliament album I picked up, it would have been my last Parliament album I picked up. But I feel it is important to cover albums that I don't like. And I know there's people who are going to disagree with me out there on this album. They're going to say, I don't get this album. I get the album. I don't like the album. That's the difference. There's other Parliament albums I enjoy a lot more than this one. This one, I just find the concept is too cheesy and it just doesn't really do justice to the artists involved with it. That's that. You know, and this isn't a remaster, no bonus tracks. This is just the basic one. I think I picked this one up because I think I picked this particular one up for, you know, somewhere between $8 and $10 or something like that. It might have been new. It might have been used. I don't remember. I'm not going to get rid of it because, you know, it's part of the collection. But I don't listen to it often. Anyways, until next time, love you all. Peace and take care. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave your comments. Even if on this review you disagree with me, because if it was a number 13 album, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there going to disagree with me on this one. Just remember, be respectful in your comments, please, and I will be respectful back. Anyways, once again, love you all. Peace and take care.